Broadcasting live from the True Crime Today studios to the world. This is Murder in the Morning with Tony Bruschi and Stacey Cole.
From the Hit Killers Podcast, Murder in the Morning.
Philadelphia. It is a city known for its grit, its resolve, and now for a mystery that has haunted one family for over a decade. Kind of mystery that keeps you up at night, questioning everything. Ellen Greenberg, 27-year-old teacher, met a violent end in 2011. 20 stab wounds. Yeah. 20.
For a suicide, no doubt.
For a suicide. Because we know if anybody's going to kill themselves, it's 20 stab wounds. And so, of course, some of them are post-mortem as well, by the way, because what suicide would be complete without stabbing yourself after you're dead?
Like you do.
Somehow, the official word on her death reads suicide. The scene was nothing short of cinematic horror. It was January. Ellen's fiancé, Samuel Goldberg, discovered her body slumped against the kitchen cabinets. A knife buried deep in her chest. Blood was pooled on the floor, and it was a very grim tableau of finality. Her back, neck, head, all stabbed 20 times. Initially,
People don't kill themselves by stabbing themselves in the head.
People don't stab themselves when they're already dead either.
Well, there's that.
Initially, the city's medical examiner Marlon Osbourne labeled it what it appeared to be a homicide. Then, in a plot twist worthy of a crime thriller, the classification, they moved it to suicide. No real warning here doing this. No explanation as to why. Just, hey, you know what? It's suicide now. And that sent a couple shockwaves through Ellen's family. And it has ever since, with a trail of unanswered questions. Last 13 years, Josh and Sandra Greenberg have been on a mission to try and uncover the truth about what happened to their daughter, Ellen Greenberg. They have knocked on every door. They have written every letter. And they have stared down every official who dared to close the case prematurely. This week, as we've been talking to these guys and hearing their story for quite some time, they've hit another brick wall. But I got to say, pause on this. There is more to the case, and there could be more that can happen here that can help in their journey. This brick wall, the Chester County District Attorney's Office, after a, quote, exhaustive review that began in 2022, announced it wouldn't be filing criminal charges. Not because the case is closed, but far from it. The reason? They couldn't meet the lofty standard for proving a crime beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the catch, isn't it? Even when the facts scream foul play, the system demands absolute certainty. Well, we just convicted a guy over in Delphi, Indiana, of murdering two little girls based on a stray bullet that was found in a wooded area that many people hike, and police were all over. And that's about it. Guy with no history whatsoever. That guy, we said that. So this? Yeah.
How?
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 It defies you can't. You're just not doing your job if you are saying that the post-mortem stab wounds are not proof beyond a reasonable doubt that there was foul play here. There's just, what scenario are you running with? Because we don't have any scenario here where somebody, ran in, and then when they were trying to save the person, they accidentally stabbed them or something. Just something where there could be more damage, but not on purpose in some sort of weird scenario. That's not really anything anyone's thinking. at the very least, someone else was involved in the death of Ellen Greenberg beside herself.
Had to be. Absolutely had to be. If you take a look at the trajectory of these knives, or this knife, of where it allegedly went in, it went into the back of her skull. There's no way somebody could stab themselves at the angle in which this knife penetrated her skull. There's no way. She could not have put her arm in such a position to make that happen. Right smack dab in the center back of her head. Yeah. She would have been more on the side if she was doing it that way, but that's not how people kill themselves.
No.
And in the chest, she would have done so much catastrophic damage to her thorax that there's no way she could have continued to stab herself. And the same with where she was stabbing in the back. If she had done that herself, there's no way she could have been like, okay, I didn't finish the back, now I'm going to go to the front. It doesn't work that way.
What I found interesting, because this case has seemed to be tied up in politics a lot in Philadelphia, is we had an election the other day, and then right after that, DA says, nope, can't meet that standard of proof. We're going to put this case into inactive status. I don't know. I found the timing interesting. I don't know if it's anything. I tried to dig a little bit on that. From everything I found, I didn't see any changes at the DA's office. The AG did change in Pennsylvania. But I mean, that'd be quite, I don't know. And I don't know if there's any connection to anyone there that would have that on their agenda of, hey, let's tamper this down over there. Please help me. Attorney General. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any proof of anything there. It's just one of the races of note that I would say changed. But who knows? There's a lot of people in different places, probably far less known and probably far less out on the superseding areas of the public that are looking for. We're talking probably people way down ballot that are just, the person who's going to do this role in this administration or in this county or whatever, things like that, where maybe somebody has some influence. I don't know. I just found it interesting.
The coincidences in this case are just beyond. I would hope that there wasn't some sort of cover up, but being somebody who has studied medicine and science and has some common sense, there's no way this woman killed herself. Anybody who said and verified that she did is not telling the full story. There's no way they're telling the full story here. Cover
up or incompetence. So that's the question, I think.
But I'm not even sure somebody that incompetent,
I don't know,
could come up with the same conclusion.
I don't know either. I mean, there's just so many things that don't add up in here that it's like, yes, the fact that we're even battling to get this to be categorized as a criminal event or that it was homicide is insane. Like, they have never done a proper investigation. They never did at the beginning because they immediately switched that.
Well, and they cleaned up the crime scene. They didn't leave it intact for anybody to investigate. Well, that's flag number one.
Well, and then you have the judge that was a family friend of the fiancé come in and take the computers and such. And the story on that was, didn't want them to be stolen or something like that. And
they would have put yellow tape across the door. Nobody would have crossed the threshold.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, digital footprints are a big thing when someone's found dead with 20 stab wounds in their house. That should be probably an area most people want to look at, not go into some other, I don't know. I mean, I believe they actually did, from what I understand, they did get into evidence, but they were touched by a third party. So whether or not they just sat in somebody's car or closet and then went to the police, or, I mean, the window is open there that somebody could have gone into those devices. I don't know. I don't know. It certainly is not a chain of command or chain of custody with how you would handle a homicide and any evidence at the scene.
Not at all.
So there's just so many questions that, look, I don't know who did this. I'm not going to say who I think did this because I don't know. I don't know why we can't get just simple questions answered for this family.
Yeah. Why the secret? Who's being protected? That's what I want to know.
thing.
Because if no one's being protected, the answers should come easily.
Yeah.
This looks like an open and shut case. Somebody's dead. Did they do it or did someone do it to her? The evidence looks like someone did it to her. What's the problem here?
Yeah.
What are they covering up? What are they protecting? Who are they protecting? Because this doesn't seem like it was some rando who decided, fuck, I'm going to go in and kill somebody.
Yeah.
It seems very, very aimed at one person.
Yeah. So who was aiming it at her? I guess that is the question.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know. I mean, sometimes people have other lives going on too. And that's the thing. We don't know because all of these pieces of evidence were just taken away. And for what reason? Was it just paranoia that someone's going to think somebody did something that they didn't? And so evidence is tampered with that way. We've seen it the other way too, where evidence is added to crime scenes. So things do go one way or another. I don't know. I don't know the answers to any of these things because they never asked the question or they never allowed the question to be asked. And there was never a chance to look into any of these things.
Something just doesn't smell right to me.
20 stab wounds, it's going to smell right. And why it baffles the mind that one can just hold up the whole thing because somebody put this on a piece of paper and said, yep, that's the final ruling. And it takes all of this to get anything changed. The family right now are waiting for that Supreme Court hearing that's coming up, and it's promising to explore the question, can the executors of an estate challenge a death certificate ruling? That's what's holding this up. It's a technicality with a lot of implications. If the court sides with the Greenbergs, it could clear them the path for wrongful death lawsuits and perhaps justice that they seek. They're not like judging on this specific case. They're judging on the principle of what this law is. Because right now it says you can't challenge that if you're the family. And if they change this, then families can challenge that. So it could impact a lot of other cases too in that state.
Yeah, it really could.
They've also, the Greenbergs have filed civil suits taking aim at the officials and institutions that they believe mishandled Ellen's case from the start. It's going to be interesting. That I think is going to be good for them because you're going to get into discovery, and discovery in civil cases is very different than discovery in criminal cases. Depositions, there's all sorts of things that can be taken out of a civil case and could actually lead to criminal charges, a la Diddy. That's how that all got underway. So, yeah, they're going to do what they're going to do. And I applaud them for still being able to go at this the way that they do. They're not going to stop, I think, till they get justice. And they're getting up there. So I really hope that they're able to see that with how slow our system works before their time is up here. But those are parents who are not going to take no for an answer.
All right, true crime addicts, let's cut the crap. You're knee-deep in the gory details of your favorite podcast when suddenly a commercial hits like a bad meal. Seriously? You deserve better. Upgrade to True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts, where you can binge without those annoying ads. Plus, get extended interviews that go deeper into the darkness and early access to episodes so you can be the first to know. It's like trading up from fast food to fine dining, but with more blood. So, go ahead. Search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and feast on the good stuff.